Watch me a wind up me body, yeah. Watch me a move up me body, yeah. Watch me a wind up me body, yeah. Watch me a move up me body, yeah. Wind up, girl, up, wind up your body. 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 Me and me friends really come fit on up the party. Watch me a wine and I get naughty. I sick back me love not to drink Hennessy. Watch me a wine and I get naughty. Party turn up, party turn up. Watch me a wine and I get naughty. Party turn up, party turn up. Watch me a wine and I get naughty. Hold on there. Watch me a
We're spicy and we're live. Hey, good night, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Art School Rejects. And on tonight's show, we have special guest, Ryan
Diaz.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, man.
Yo.
Who did not
Ryan
know to say, hey, what's up?
Diaz dropped.
First time on the podcast.
Thanks for having
This
me
is
on
first
tonight,
time. It's first time on the podcast. And we have Jake.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to my podcast starring me only. Everyone else is irrelevant. Thank you.
All right, Jake. Thanks,
and
Jake.
then we have Carlos.
I peeked a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm here.
And then we have Shane, who's myself. And on the 24th episode, we're going to be talking about Ip Man, or is it Ip Man, and also Logan, and pretty much just regular general stuff. So, guys, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Good, man. Doing good. How you doing? It's been a while.
I'm always borderline.
Just on the cusp of everything failing.
Yeah, just existential. Like I'm present, but if it wasn't for my son, who knows?
Shotgun to the back of the dome, dude.
I have people counting on me, so it makes it,
Do we need to change the topic of this podcast? What the
Yeah,
fuck is wrong with you?
You know, do we need to call this Susan?
well, in the last podcast, we kind of mentioned that like this is just the new normal now when we wake up and the state of America and the world is
hyper-normalization.
It's in a place where we're maintaining in light of situations that are beyond our control.
So, off that, what's going on, guys? So, Ryan, this is your first time on the show. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, man. Of course.
So, Ip Man, Donnie Yen, guys.
But he's playing a real person.
Is he?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Ip Man was like Jackie Chan.
What? No. Not even a little bit. No.
Not even close.
Not it. Yeah.
100%.
Give it, drop that knowledge on us, Ryan. I think you know a lot more about the subject.
You're just about Jackie Chan's friend.
No. Ip Man was a martial artist. Basically, Ip Man was the instructor of Bruce Lee. Saw him. He was, I guess, his famous pupil was Bruce Lee as his disciple, and then he's got 3 or 4 movies out now. So
And Bruce Lee like keeps like popping up in the movies and as like, all right, I'm ready to get some training from you. And Ip Man, like he always like disses him.
He was like, nah, son.
He's like, nah, you fucking suck.
Well, that actually happened in real life because Ip Man turned him away first as a disciple when he was a kid, and then as a teenager is when he came back, and then that's when he agreed to start training him in Wing Chun.
So they've made 3 movies. Wait, 3 or 4?
4. The other one was like a prelude, and it kind of fractured the timeline of what they set from like Ip Man 1, 2, and 3.
So it's kind of a quaalude, not a prelude.
Yeah.
No one got that? All right, I'm by myself.
Not quite the same.
Kind of in the sense. I think basically they just, with the Grandmaster, they were just trying to show off martial arts choreography, really, and how it's progressed.
I
liked it.
Is that the 4th one?
Yeah,
That's the one without Donnie Yen, right?
Yeah, it's the one without Donnie Yen. I don't remember that actor's name, but he's really good. He's really good in it. I liked him.
Wing Chun, right, is his style, which was that the predominant form of martial arts in China at the time, or was it something that he was kind of doing?
No, actually,
he spearheaded. Actually,
he
it up?
No, he didn't make it up. It was actually
not like he made it up, like like out thin air.
Yeah, he brought more popularity to it in the East, and then of course Bruce Lee brought it over to the West, and then he invented kind of his own style. Obviously, Jeet Kune Do. But no, Ip Man. Well, first of all, I want to clear that up. A lot of the movie titles are called Ip Man, IP Man, and his actual name, which was always misspelled in any of the newspapers in China, his actual name is YIP Man, which is Ip Man. Everybody pronounces it Ip Man.
Damn.
Okay, we're already fucking up.
Damn. I'm sorry.
So it's Ip Man.
It's Ip Man.
Ip Man. Well, everybody calls him Sifu.
That means master, dude.
Oh, see?
Okay.
You learn some Cantonese while I'm watching this.
Ooh. We're going international, guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Culture, man. But yeah, no.
Yep.
So basically, Ip Man made it popular and spearheaded kind of it, but essentially the actual martial arts form itself supposedly was developed by a woman. So, of course, that time frame, it was kind of looked down upon.
Back then, women were looked down upon?
There's no way. There's no way that was made by a woman. That's fighting, and women don't fight. Okay.
Jake,
Wow.
Wow. Spicy
Wait.
territory.
What was her name, Shane? Like Cynthia?
What?
Cynthia Rothrock.
There you go.
Yeah, Rock.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's dope, right?
Yeah, she's really good. And then there's a couple other ones.
I mean, Michelle Yeoh is like probably the biggest one. Ip Man. So he got kind of clowned on, right? Because like the martial arts was like they called it like a woman's martial arts.
Yeah, essentially, like I said, it was. I don't think it was ever proven, but essentially, it was supposedly developed by a woman, and then. No, at the time, no one had really ever heard of those style of martial arts. So none of the other masters at the time, when he first started teaching, really respected him as a fellow martial arts or fellow instructor. So essentially, back in that time, what you'd have to do is prove yourself to the other masters before you can teach students in the local area, which at the time, it was the Foshan district in China, which was the most popular district for martial arts.
Yeah, it was like they called it like martial arts alley.
Yeah.
So pretty much, he took this fighting style, and he's literally fighting like a girl, and he's proving everyone wrong that it actually works out.
I wouldn't call it fight like a girl,
It's a bit
but
sexist.
What?
A little bit sexist.
I wouldn't call it fighting like a girl, but yeah, he was supposedly the style he used was developed by a woman, and then they said no one respected it, and then basically, like I said, at that time, you have to prove yourself to be able to actually teach in the district in Foshan district, which at that time era was really popular for martial arts, and then of course people from north and south always traveled there.
Yeah, this is like pre-war China, pre-World War II, and that war like changed a lot of things, right? Like kind of the landscape of China at the time.
A lot of different team ups were going around.
Well, pretty much like it was like different schools and houses of martial arts, like they were at, kind of battling each other, and then all of a sudden the Japanese come and they were like, oh, well, there's a bigger enemy. And that's kind of like the theme of all like the Ip Man movies.
Yeah.
The foreign agents are ultimately like the bad guys. Like no matter like how many martial arts schools are kind of battling with each other, like the real enemy is always like the Japanese or the British or Americans. Yeah. These like outside people that are trying to come in and run shit.
The British and American guys are always big, buff, like boxer dudes, and they're like, "That's not real fighting. This is real fighting." They do like that. And they punched Ip Man.
Oh yeah, the guy who was that boxer. His name was Tornado in the movie.
Yeah, he was annoying.
But yeah, so yeah, that's basically what it's based around that time between like the 1920s and 1930s of his life, and then that was during the
that was the first Ip Man.
The invasion of the Japanese. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was when the second Sino-Japanese War was going on.
The first Ip Man, it was like really a reminder to me that like, oh yeah, that's right. The Japanese were like the worst.
Yeah. They're taking over everyone, dude.
They were banging with Hitler. They were about that Nazi shit.
No, listen, I lived in Japan for a little bit, and like I like many Japanese things, and we always talking about Japanese things on the podcast. But like for a while, like they were like the worst.
They're rapscallions.
Yep. Or maybe they were just misguided.
I mean, they were Nazis basically.
Yeah,
they just didn't have Hugo Boss to design their uniforms.
That's true. They didn't look as good.
They were pretty much Nazis. I mean, you're like you run with Nazis, like you're a Nazi.
I mean, Hitler's like, "Hey, you're cool, guys. I like the cut of your jib.
I like you guys. You guys
you're doing big things.
You can't part of me."
Yeah.
So okay, so we got the back history of actually Ip Man. So in Ip Man 3, what brings Ip Man to Mike Tyson in the third movie? Is that even real?
No.
Part of the story.
No, not at all.
Actual,
Not at all.
All right. See, now this is interesting. So
Nope.
now this is where the movie becomes a movie.
Yeah, that
So-
part is.
It seemed like a little shoehorn. Like they kind of.
I watched it. That was probably my least favorite of all of them, of course. I think they were just kind of hyping off because he's getting more and more popular, obviously in Hollywood. So they did that, but yeah, no, that was completely falsified. None of that really happened in his actual life.
So you say Mike Tyson didn't actually go back and traveled, like did some Back to the Future stuff. And face off of
That's
Ip
the
Man.
thing about Ip Man is that like he's a historical figure, but then like you're watching it and you're like, well, how much? Like I believe.
No.
But then, like, there is part of me that's watching it is like, yo, this one dude, his life was so dope that you can make like 3 solid movies out of it.
Nice.
I want to know what else they want to do as far as that storyline, because I know they're talking about a couple other ones. Because I mean, he did the final one where it showed the end, like kind of like the last years of Ip Man's life before he died of cancer, and they were doing that. But it's funny because in the movies they show him having a stomach illness, but really he died of throat cancer. So I don't. So that was always the biggest.
Bro, Ip
thing
Man
with that.
smoked
So-
cigarettes like they were
Yeah.
going out of style. Like, my man was like,
Like candy.
no, my man was like, nobody told Ip Man that like smoking was bad for you or whatever. Like, it's like he just did not get that memo.
that's how the Americans really won. They're like, here, smoke these, boy.
No.
Good for you, healthy. Herbal supplements.
But he would like, no, he was dope because he would like whip your ass and then like right after just light up a cigarette. Like,
Yo.
like,
It's like no sweat.
I don't know what's wrong. I just got a stomach ache. Funny how it all started right after my cigarette smoke.
I was trying to think of like a different, like another person in history that has had like so much of their life in film.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Well,
God.
okay, Jesus. What
Nobody
movie?
watches
The
it.
Passion of the Christ, and what else? There's never been like a
Those are
Jesus
all-
movie, right? Besides the Passion.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah.
Not like real movies, though. Like blockbuster type movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like you can go to the church's like movie rental
The
area
Watchtower.
and find plenty of those Jesus movies, but
What?
straight to VHS. All right.
No, I mean,
Even today.
I think, isn't your man Mel Gibson? Isn't he in the works of doing another movie?
He is.
He's
Yeah.
in the works of doing another Jesus movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I think that confirms your theory there.
That's only 2 movies
So far,
though.
he's got 2.
So he's still down. Yip Man, like
Yeah,
2-3 movies.
I guess.
There is one martial arts, Chinese martial arts, that I wish they would do like kind of like a trilogy of, which is Li Mu Bai
Bye. Yeah.
from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Wait, that was a documentary?
No, it was the Chow Yun Fat played him.
Oh, but he was a real historical person.
Yeah, that was a real historical martial
He
artist.
was a wizard.
Yeah. I wish that. No.
He didn't have guns in that movie. He wasn't hard boiled in that movie.
You fly with the sword.
Yeah.
Well, the only person that I can
Yeah.
think of that was in movies that had more of their real life like documented in the big screen was Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Because Che had like, first of all, Steven Soderbergh did the Che movie, which was like epic. I think it was like 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah, but then they broke it up.
It was a 2-part movie, but then also he also did the Motorcycle Diaries, which was about him in his early life. I think it was Gail Garcia Bernal plays him as a young person, and this is Che Guevara before he was a revolutionary, back when he was still a medical doctor, and he was just riding his motorcycle through South America, like going around like healing like sick people like everywhere. That's a movie, and then the whole like Che movie, which is like him being a revolutionary with Fidel Castro, and then even after Cuba and going to Africa and all that stuff. So he's had a lot of his life documented as well. But those are the only 2 that I could think of. Like, I don't think Jesus has that much screen time.
Whoa.
He only has one book.
Yeah, just one book that's been around since 2,000 years.
I haven't.
Been redone a lot
Hey,
of times.
just
but
give
Apparently.
Harry Potter a chance, man. Soon there'll be a church of that in about 2,000 years.
Yeah.
But what you were saying, Shane, the whole Mike Tyson thing was kind of like shoehorned into the movie.
Yeah.
It was more like, it wasn't really a fight. It was more like, can you survive Mike Tyson for 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Did he have a speaking role? In the
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has like some wooden lines.
I don't think he goes over like 3 sentences at a time.
Yeah.
To be honest, like he does it. It's like 3 to 4 sentences.
It was actually better than I thought it was gonna be. Because I wasn't just expecting like, oh man, this is gonna be so bad.
Damn, mocking Mike Tyson. He'd knock you out, Jake.
And he spoke quite a bit of Chinese, which was like surprising.
That was really surprising, actually. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was like every word that he was. It was like Chinese. Then it was like, I'm gonna kick your
Mike Tyson
ass.
speak Chinese.
Yeah,
In
but then
English.
there's like a scene where Mike Tyson, he was like, all right, I'll respect you if you can survive 3 minutes with me. And he puts a timer on, and it's just like, I always kind of knew how scary Mike Tyson was, but in this movie, you realize like just how scary it would be, like if Mike Tyson wanted to destroy you, like it would be not a good thing.
Like I would not want to feel the wind from his punch going whizzing by your face. Like I think that's enough to just put you in the reality that you get checked by that fist. It's lights out for real.
Yeah,
like it's really gonna be painful.
Yeah, and the fight
you know?
and the fight is kind of left. Let's just say like a
standstill.
standstill.
Kind of like it's like a draw. It's like the timer ends.
Damn.
And he was getting.
So
I don't know. It kind of felt like
Ip Man
Tyson was getting a better.
Couldn't.
He wasn't in his prime though. This is
He
like
wasn't
Ip
in his
Man.
prime.
This is
Okay.
Ip Man
Wasn't in his
like
prime.
in
So-
his like his much older state.
So Yip Man near to his washed state could not handle a washed Mike Tyson. So they're even.
Yeah.
That's what that movie just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So now the real question is, if Yip Man in his prime had to fight Mike Tyson in his prime, Mike Tyson, 20 years old, he just got the heavyweight belt. He's doing coke. He's got the fucking tigers. He has like a rape accusation.
Oh yeah, Robin Givens.
So
that's
that
right. I
Mike
forgot about
Tyson
that.
versus
Well, we can do this.
Man
We
in his
can do
prime.
this fight. All we have to do is pick Balrog. I'll pick Fei Long.
Ooh. But Fei Long is more like Bruce
That's
Lee.
Bruce
man.
Lee.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the
So
it's the same
I think you'll
style.
have to pick like Master Gen, because I think Gen was
Gen's
more
probably
like
closer.
It Man.
Isn't Gen more like regular kung fu?
Yeah, but I mean,
I was
come on.
thinking Fei Long because it's basically like Chinese boxing, like same style.
True. But anyway, I think that's what we need to do. We need to pick up them sticks and see who fights who, and we'll call it. We'll let you guys know if we ever do it for real.
I want to be there.
Oh yeah,
Live stream.
live stream that.
Yeah.
Put it up on Jake's. What do you do? You do Stitcher or Switch?
I do. What is those cam girl sites called?
MyCamGirl.com.
My Cam Girl. I go on My Cam Girl. That way I can show a little tip, and you give me a little
Hey,
tip.
like
Wow. Nice.
it. So
Sounds good.
all right.
Yeah, it was kind of. So I watched Ip Man 3 the other day, and then immediately on Netflix, by the way. So if you guys haven't watched Ip Man,
Shout out.
it's on Netflix now.
It's on
All
Netflix.
3 of them, or all 4 of them, whatever, how many there are.
I love IP Man.
Go watch it. But then right after I watched it, Netflix did this thing where it's like, hey, since you watched Ip Man 3, like, why don't you watch our new show, Iron Fist? And I was like, oh, cool. Like, Iron Fist, we spent a lot of time on the podcast talking about Luke Cage and Daredevil and all these other shows.
Oh, you can't forget Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones
man.
also.
Guys, say her name.
Lock her up.
I didn't watch it.
Lock her up.
But I was like, sure, like I'll watch Iron Fist. Well, fuck it, why not? So I watched this dude, Finn Jones, the dude from Game of Thrones. And he like walks into this office building, and he's like, the security immediately comes because they think he's a homeless man. And he's like, listen, you guys don't want to, you don't want to fuck with me. I know Kung Fu or whatever. So they immediately try to like,
Before he does he have You know how like you go in those convenience stores and it has like no shirt, no shoes,
No service,
no pants, no service. Like which of those would?
Yeah, I mean he had a shirt and pants on. He just didn't have shoes on.
Oh, see, he had no shoes, so that's why.
Maybe that's why. But like,
that's okay.
He just wanted to chat, whatever. But so he proceeds to like do some martial arts, and it was hard to describe like the feeling of going from watching like Ip Man to like watching like Iron Fist martial arts. It's like
where it's like 1, 2, 3 instead of just like real.
Yeah, like it was so bad, dude. Like, I don't know. Like they couldn't have just gotten a martial arts dude to like play Iron Fist. Like this dude obviously was not like, he probably got like maybe I would say like a half a day of training to be Iron Fist.
Wait, so did you like it or no?
I'm assuming by the way he's describing the first opening scene, he's
sounds like
not like.
I thought before, like everybody liked it. Now Carlos is like ripping in a new way.
So the shitty fight scenes and the disappointment. And
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Over. Does that mean you're good or bad?
I don't think he did.
It's not. I suggest not watching like Donnie Yen first and then watching Iron Fist because it'll probably like ruin your experience.
So I should watch it then, since I'm a big.
But then that's bad. Then
if you like just like pretend like you don't know anything about martial arts and then watch Iron Fist, you might like it.
But I've studied martial arts.
Okay, my question to you, because I haven't seen it yet, but so since we've seen Daredevil season 1 and 2 at this point, and we got introduced to the hand, right, and the martial arts that goes on in Daredevil. We've seen the iconic Daredevil hallway scene, which is nowhere equivalent to Old Boy scene.
No,
but it's a good enough scene for the Marvel MCU on Netflix. That one scene in Daredevil, how does from the martial arts scene in Daredevil to the martial arts scene in Iron Fist, is Iron Fist like a total wash, or is it just as good? Because I understand the comparison between Ip Man and that.
I personally think that scene wasn't so bad because it was more like a brawl and not so much like I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So the guy could like dodge hits and stuff, but he wasn't like trying to be a martial artist. He was just like, I know how to fight, I suppose. You know, he had the whole scene where he just like jumped on a dude essentially.
Who? Daredevil?
Daredevil.
Okay.
Or just like,
but I mean, like, but he fought like a lot of martial artists, so he was fighting against them in season 2 especially. And
I never watched that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you've seen everything at this point, Carlos.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Does the martial arts at least hold up to what we've seen coming from the MCU Netflix movies?
Well, I think that maybe it's more comparable to Daredevil because I think it was just because I had just finished watching Ip Man,
right?
So I did, so like if you watch like Daredevil and then watch Iron Fist, it might not be that like it was just like the speed of it was like so slow, like Danny Rand, right? Iron Fist, like he's like dudes are like trying to punch him and he's like moving and blocking and like countering at a pace that is like I would say like 1/8 of like what Ip Man can do. And Iron Fist is supposed to be like one of the top martial artists in Marvel. So it kind of breaks your disbelief.
Yeah, I just watched that scene, the intro scene there from Iron Fist.
Right.
It's just not that good. It's not that good, to be honest with you. Like with all the martial arts movies I've seen, and even like American movie martial arts that you normally see and stuff. Even like from what everything
American
I've seen,
Ninja 1 and 2.
Even that. This is pretty. It's pretty slow and pretty like registering. Like you can see that the guys are kind of like, he comes with the little baton and he's like, oh, block. You know what I mean? It's not like the fluidity that you're gonna get from Donnie Yen. That's not really fair though. This is a guy who was taught martial arts like last week versus like a man who's done it since he was a baby with the
no
yoga master mom, or not yoga master, Tai Chi.
Tai Chi mom.
Tai Chi mom.
Stop.
Same thing.
It's not Dalsim guy. Anyway, but I do wonder though, is it because like this might be something that plays a very pivotal part in cinema? Because I remember Jackie Chan himself, he was saying that one of the things that happens in American cinema is that they never actually show like the hit of, you know, like the punch, while in martial arts movies you get to see everything.
Yeah, they give you like a 60% or something like that, their actual hit strength or something.
Yeah, and they also show it like, you know, like if someone were to punch, you would see it like connect and the person like move forward. While mostly in American cinema, like you see the punches being thrown and then you see the reaction. Yeah. You never actually get to see the connection. So I do wonder if that is something that you've noticed in the whole Danny Rand thing that might have been a little bit of disbelief, because as you said, everything is mass slower. So, but I've yet to see that. So, but I take your word for it that Ip Man obviously will wash Iron Fist at this point.
I saw like just a short clip of Donnie Yen and Mike Tyson like just practicing for their like one of their little fight scenes. It looks like that shit's way faster, even with Mike Tyson. But that's once again they're trained fighters. So
yeah,
you know,
that's kind of unfair. I don't know this guy's background.
He's a Game of Thrones guy, and he never pulled his sword once.
He did. He fought in Game of Thrones.
Okay. I don't know. Like I was watching the preview again, and like you said, the fighting does definitely look paced, and like it's on like that 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then some of it, like you said, it doesn't have the fluidity of the actual martial arts films that we're kind of used to at this day and age.
Yeah, but the problem is that like we have to watch this like crappy show because we won't know what's going on in the Defenders when we watch when we watch the Daredevil team up with everybody and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and like we're not gonna know like the whole story because like you made us watch like 13 episodes of this like crappy show. So my idea is like maybe Marvel and Netflix could just do like the whole Iron Fist 13 episodes, but just do like put them all together, like all just the important parts of the show, and just put it like a whole 13-minute thing. Yeah, exactly. And like, yo, catch us up to speed real quick, so I don't have to waste my life, and then I can know what's going on.
You don't need to watch it now.
I don't have to worry when I watch when the Defenders comes out.
Damn. So is it safe to say that the Netflix MCU stuff went from really good to falling off in their storytelling? Because Daredevil season 1 was, to me, fantastic. Jessica Jones was good as well. Season 2 of Daredevil, it was all right. It held its own, especially because of the Punisher's act in that. I think if the Punisher wasn't involved in that, the storyline would have been totally like played out and cheesy. Then Luke Cage, in my opinion, started off fantastic, like very strong. But, you know, as we talked about this in previous podcasts, by them killing that Marshall Ali's character, really, to me, made the whole entire series just kind of a waste. And so now you're seeing that this whole thing here, this Iron Fist, is just like, why even bother, guys? Like, just give me a summary.
Yeah, I think that I think Jessica Jones and Daredevil were so good because like they had a really clearly defined villain, the Purple Man, and Kingpin. Like those are two villains that you understood their motivation, you got their backstory also, and like they were fleshed out, and they were terrifying in their own way. Yeah. And when that scene when Kingpin, like where he like annihilates that dude's with the fucking car door, it's just like, yo, like, all right, this, yo, like
he's definitely
watch this guy,
a scary dude. He's not just a gangster. He's a straight up bad.
And
it was defined.
And then in Luke Cage, I think that they fell off a little bit because of the two different bad guys that they had, and they had a really charismatic guy, and then they kind of killed him off. And in Iron Fist, I'm not even sure that there is a bad guy. There's like corporation that he's trying to get, that he's just his friends from when he was a kid, and now they're like just kind of rich white people.
Damn.
that are just kind of like annoying and like.
You're saying it's 1% problems.
It's like it's
You
just
can't
I'm not
relate.
sure like what's going on. Like I know that the hand is ultimately like the bad guy, but they haven't been introduced. I watched 2 episodes with Saiyan, that night. So no, the hand is like kind of briefly talked about, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
They don't have the bad guy isn't the purple man, it's the orange man. Wink, wink, wink.
Ooh.
Nod to current day issues.
Oh,
Yes.
I get you. Hey, I got that. That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing this. I definitely got to watch this tonight, and I meant to watch it sooner, but I've been so busy
Yeah.
because I moved Ellie in. So
Yeah. Don't watch
Really
like
neither.
any like Hong Kong like martial arts movies before watching it. That's my only advice.
Don't rewatch Fearless tonight, which is another good one.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Shit's badass, dude.
Logan, what did you do?
Charles, the world is not the same as it was. Mutants. They're gone now.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing.
yeah, so there's this Marvel movie that's out and about.
Well, it's been out for a minute
I
now.
think it's,
What is it?
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it got-
called- is it called Logan
Yeah.
or is it called
James.
Howlett?
It's
Or-
funny that you mentioned that
who is it?
because they actually bring up James Howlett a lot in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
At first, it was like I thought maybe because like he is like an Uber driver in the like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And he like you see his like Uber license or whatever, and it says like almost like a taxi medallion or whatever, and
This
it
is
has
a
his
Marvel
picture and
This was in the movie, yeah.
and it has
Oh,
his
wow.
and it says his name underneath it, and it says James Howlett. And at first I was like, oh, that's cute that they kind of threw that in there as like a little nod.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be the end of the story, but then it keeps coming back. Like there's like 3 or 4 different times throughout the movie where like people will actually refer to him as James Howlett, which I thought was like I was like, oh, okay, well, all right, now this is a thing now. We're just like we're treating this like everybody knows that that's his real name.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird because like literally the man who's known him the longest still calls him Logan.
Yeah.
It's just everybody else is like, oh, James. What they say his full name as well.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's not like,
They
yo,
don't
what's
just
up,
call-
James?
They don't
It's
call
like,
him
no,
James. They don't call him
what's
Jimmy.
up, James Howlett?
Yeah, they
Howlett?
use the whole thing.
Well, it seems like they were like trying they're trying to make it like common knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they talked about it in like the first Wolverine or something, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, the first Wolverine, Wolverine Origins,
yeah.
they discussed that he was a little boy and he got his powers, and Sabretooth was his like brother, half brother.
Yeah.
And to me, I'd still say the best part of that movie, 2 parts of that movie that were really good.
Deadpool.
The opening scene, when the opening 15 minutes when they're running through the different war timelines, that was really good.
I like that. That
And
was good.
then when
the movie ended.
Ryan Reynolds was playing Deadpool in the first time without the whole like face sewn up and all that crap.
Yeah,
In the elevator.
That was really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
that,
the elevator scene.
Uh,
At
yeah.
that moment in time, I really was like, you know what? If there was a character born to play someone,
Yeah.
it is Ryan Reynolds needs to be Deadpool, and we have him today. I think this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this a little bit different, ladies and gents, because Ryan and myself, we haven't seen the actual Logan movie. Boo!
Boo.
I know we suck. All right, get
Yeah.
out of here. We don't like you. But we have Jake.
did you see Get Out?
No, we didn't see. I
Oh
didn't see
man, you
Get Out.
gotta get that. You gotta watch that.
Actually, Ellie just watched it. She said it was really good.
I've been hearing nothing but good things about that. Actually,
Actually, you know what? Believe it or not, within my experience of my girlfriends,
he's like choosing words carefully.
with all of them, I've had that same scenario where I would go to like see like their parents, and their parents like live in like the boonies or like in the mountains in
God.
some small town, and like I've always feel like I am like the only like black kid and I'm always like, all right, I might not make it back. I don't know if I'm gonna be something, but anyway.
Yeah, just like before you go to like meet any more like weird white families, just like call me first and like tell me where you're going. Like,
yeah, I will.
If I don't message you every 3 minutes,
I'll I'll make sure that like if I don't hear from you, I'll go look for you.
Nice.
Every 3 minutes, dude, you gotta send a text message that says you're still alive.
But yeah, so just so what is there any like thing about Logan? Did you have any questions about it, I guess?
Questions?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions actually.
Oh, okay.
All right. Wow. Okay. I think we should do some Q&A with Ryan and Shane versus Jake and Carlos about the movie Logan. All right. So
it's my favorite comic book movie ever.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh, wow.
Oh, I agree with that.
You just said that first on our school reject.
Shots fired at every other
Carlos movie, just said Logan chat on Civil War.
Dude, easily though.
Thor, Iron Man, the original Superman movie.
I was sitting there watching it and I was just like, it's either this or it's like Dark Knight. And then I was like, while I was watching, I was like in the middle. It wasn't even the ending or anything. It was like in the middle. I was just like, where do I put this in like the rankings? Because you can't help but think about that kind of stuff when you're watching it. And it's just like, this is like probably the second best movie ever. And then like, you're like, nah, this is clearly the best comic book movie ever made.
All right.
I would say that like, especially because of like overall acting and just like the storyline, all that stuff. It may not be like the most action packed, even though every action scene they have is fucking awesome. Like for me, it was like a toss up between that and Deadpool, just because of how spot on Deadpool felt.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Really
and it was like one of the first comic book movies that got to that level of like, this is exactly how this character's supposed to be. Well, and even though it's not exactly how it is in the comics,
the Marvel films
like the
also
movie version.
Like Iron Man does a good job of that as well.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But I mean,
Iron
like,
Man was a very good job.
I suppose. I mean, I guess in the Fox X-Men type universe, I suppose.
No, I mean, like, I see where you're coming from, like, and I'm glad you brought up Iron Man, Carlos, because I feel the same way. Like, I feel after they did Iron Man, everything else was just kind of a follow up to the Avengers. Iron Man gave us that like feel of what it is to actually take the character, put an actor who is directly linked to the actual character that they're portraying. They made the perfect movie, and they did that same formula with Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. And Logan and Hugh Jackman is a guy that I never liked as Wolverine.
Yeah. Right.
He was the complete opposite of Wolverine.
17 years of him playing Wolverine. Right. And so, wow. So he's been playing Wolverine since before Saiyan was even born, which is crazy.
Damn.
I've never liked him for that part. And then this movie was so good that none of that mattered. It even though Hugh Jackman wasn't, in my opinion, like the best vessel for the character, like this was the first movie that really got his character right, as being like somebody that is so torn inside from all the violence that he's done to other people. And it's also the first movie that's really shown you like how violent the character is, because like he does a lot of just like face chopping in this.
Oh my God, yes.
Dudes that get close to him are just like their heads are like 3/4 off now, and like arms are off, like it's just like you don't want to like fight a dude that has claws that come out of his fists.
This is the first time like you watch Wolverine and you're like, you don't know why these guys are going after him. Like in the other movies, like all he's gonna do is cut their guns in half and like kick them or something. And this, he's like, no, I'm going to chop your arm off and then chop your face off.
Yeah.
In like 2 moves.
Yeah.
Like split second. You know, it's fucking beautiful.
I'm not the type of dude that like, oh, I love violence. Like I need violence. Like, you know, like a movie's not good unless it's violent, or it's like, I don't even think that like a movie needs to be uber violent for it to feel like, oh, real or gritty or dark or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just made so much sense for Wolverine as a character, because like, how do you like, so the reason why he's so fucked up inside is because like, he has to he lives through this. Like he does this to people. Like he hurts people in this way, and it's so affecting to see it finally in the big screen.
Didn't Hugh Jackman say in an interview like this is like you want a certain person the guy that did Wolverine before, he had the same writer or director come in and do this one with him as well, because he wanted to play a more R-rated version of Wolverine.
Well, I mean, we really have to thank the success of Deadpool for that. I think if that didn't happen, Fox would never had jumped back on the table to making these rated R movies.
But I mean, and I want to kind of make a note as well that like whilst it was rated R and the action was like pretty gory, it wasn't, and like Carlos did say this, it wasn't like gratuitous. Like it wasn't like just gory for the sake of being gory. Like he wasn't just going around just killing everybody and blowing their heads up and like, you know, blood everywhere and he was covered in blood and all that kind of shit. It was like well done, and and when it didn't need to be overtly gory, it wasn't. You know what I mean?
And there was consequences to it.
Yeah.
You know, like when it's like every time he did it, every time those claws came out, it hurt him. And it's like every time he put his claw through somebody's head, you know, it stayed with him also. Like you could tell that he was being like affected by it internally. And so like everything hurts. Like, you know, like bringing the claws out, like even though his claws come out a little bit slower, he can't even get them all out all the way like fast, you know, like
age.
Yeah, they have that one scene where he has in the trailer even where he's like having to pull. It looks like he's just like cutting himself, but in the movie he's actually like trying to pull his last claw all the way out.
So that he actually lives by that saying that, man, this is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you, type of deal.
Yeah, I mean they kind of did stay with the.
I'm
whole
not sure about
thing
that.
of the comic where they kind of did stay with the whole thing of the actual comic where, like, Old Man Logan he just didn't want to use his claws ever again. He wasn't gonna pull his claws out because he was sick of killing people. So it's the same idea. He was like, but it was like he was sick of killing people. He was sick of himself. He was sick of seeing everyone die.
The thing I don't know is the villain, like the guy, and who is that guy? I don't.
Well, okay,
that
so
guy
it's Boyd Holbrook, right? So he was in the Narcos show.
He snitched on Pablo.
So
was he not doing the same thing?
He's like, no, like he is a mercenary type of dude. He has like a mechanical arm, kind of like
Jax from Mortal Kombat 2.
I was gonna say like Bucky, but not as dope.
Definitely didn't look as dope as Bucky.
Yeah, like Bucky has like obviously super soldier powers also. He's just kind of like, he's almost like the comic relief of the movie, and he's not really considered like the main villain. If you're familiar with Wolverine, the comic book character, then you know that really his real villain is himself. Like he's always fighting himself, like his inner demons that he, you know, is haunted by at all times. So that's really kind of like the villain is like just him like dealing with himself and his past and all of that stuff. And the Boyd Holbrook character he's just kind of like he's menacing at times, but he's actually was like surprisingly funny, kind of likable in a way.
But his character is based off of like an old, I think it was a Wolverine comic, or it was just an X-Men one, but they're like these old cyborgs that were like a whole group of them who were like kind of mercenaries essentially.
Right, I was gonna ask you that.
So they're kind of like a reference to that, but not making them as corny looking as the original version of those cyborgs were. So these are like,
wait, the guy who you're referencing to, I'm not too sure his name, but like his whole body is kind of like adamantium.
No.
It's just got like a robot arm.
No.
That's it. You can like pop the hand off and like put doodads on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Like,
how far does that prosthetic go up? Is it like the hand, the forearm?
It's like 3/4.
Okay.
Like that.
Oh.
He's a below elbow amputee.
Yeah. Well, he runs with like a bunch of mercs that like have like, they seem to get their limbs blown off often. He's like, he has a large group of like goons that rolls with him, and there's always like explosions happening or like crazy like they seem to lose a lot of body parts, it looked like. But then I was just like, in the back of my mind I was like, oh, it's no big deal because they could just get a robot one.
Yeah, just go buy a new one off eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think eBay's around at that point.
All right, I got one question. All right, wait, no, not one question. In the movie, did they treat X-23 as if she was his daughter? Because from what I know is that she's not. She's just a clone of him, and she has like her handler was more so her mother and all that type of jazz. So I want to know, did they stay true to the comic book, or did they just kind of bring in that father-daughter element to the movie?
I mean, if you have a clone that is kind of like,
they kind of treated it a little bit of both in the sense that like she was, and I could be wrong, but it was like a donor egg and Logan's sperm. It was literally his fucking jizz, dude.
What?
Really?
It said sample of his like DNA, I guess, which
DNA.
it was unclear like what exactly that
But
meant.
they talk about putting it in a donor egg, and I don't know about you, but I've never put like a cheek cell into a donor egg and it worked fine, make a baby.
This brings another question to mind that I just thought about. So we know that Logan has regenerative powers.
Yeah.
Does that mean he can like last forever?
Mm.
Like, you think he just like I'm so gone.
I think since it doesn't damage him,
Yeah.
no. But he'd probably have like awesome stamina, dude. I mean, he does have awesome stamina. He just wouldn't get tired banging out, but he would be like, once he fucking, his refractory period is a lot faster. I don't fucking know. I feel like he's only. I feel like only like it's associated with damage, dude. I feel like it's like if he gets cut, it'll heal. If he like gets blown up, he'll heal. But like if you nut, that's not hurting you, dude.
No, I know, but I'm saying like
He just fucking chops his dick up, shink, and grows back. I'm ready to go again.
No, but back to the real question. So you're saying that she is actually his daughter.
Wasn't she in the comics a full adult when she got her adamantium? She went through the Weapon X program as well.
I thought she was in
But
her
I think
teens.
she was like in her teens. I'm not too sure how old this girl is in this movie.
Younger.
Like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in
So
the movie
preteen?
it's young, but all the
She's
stuff
like
I've seen, like
9 or 10.
Ellie looked up all the comics. It seemed like she was older, like between like 16 and 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think making her younger, it changes the element entirely.
Yeah.
Because like now she, and it just kind of it gives it more of a
genuine feel.
Yeah. If she was a teenager, then kind of at that point, like kids are already kind of past the point where you can influence them in any way. I know that because I have a teenager, so it's like there's like it's impossible to kind of get like
that guy.
yeah, like you can't really like put new ideas into their minds. Like, but like Laura in the movie, she's still like young enough that where she's still kind of searching for her identity. And is looking to Logan as somebody that she can she trust him, or or is he just going to be like like an asshole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I have another question. What's with the claws? Why she only had two? Because I don't know that much about.
I think it's just because she only has two in the comics, so they just like.
Well, she has in the comics.
She has three.
She has two in her hands, and she has one
in each foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a design. I mean, you could ask the creator. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I thought there was like backstory of it because I haven't read that.
Well, I think in the movie they mentioned that like the female version of like some species.
That was the fucking stupidest shit.
Oh my god!
That was
the
the fucking stupidest shit. It was
I need to know this.
They got some fucking fucking subtly sexist kind of thing where it's like maybe not even they're trying to make it sound like.
I mean, it's science,
fucking,
Jake. Science can't be sexist,
but it's not. It's fucking stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's like like the lion, the female lions, they're the hunters and gatherers. So the front claws
the female lions are,
and the back claws are for gathering or some stupid shit like that. And it's like, but the male lions have the same fucking claws. This is a bullshit excuse. It's just cooler. You just wanted the person with claws on their fucking feet too. It'd be rad. Why not try that too? That's the best answer.
Jake's like, it's a war on men.
I bet that makes climbing walls easier.
Science is wrong.
So they try to bring like some science to it instead of it just being design.
It was fucking
like some like sex, like so you make a male Wolverine, you get 3 claws in the hand. You make a female Wolverine, you get 2 claws in the hand, 1 claw in the feet.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to make it like, because she's a girl, she's just naturally gonna have claws in her feet. That doesn't make no fucking sense.
Yo, that's mad sus, yo. So why is it? Because
First of all, like you're talking, this doesn't make sense. We're talking about a story with like mutants and like bionic arms and like telepathic.
They're trying to put it into. Listen, they're trying to put it into a realm of reality. Okay, they're the ones who put it into the world of real life. Where it's like female lions. No, motherfucker. Male lions, female lions. Same amount of claws on each part of their fucking limbs. I'm sorry.
All right, so I guess we should do like 3 more questions.
Speed round.
Yeah, anything else?
You think?
Speed round.
Lightning.
Lightning round.
All right, so my next question: does he put on the fucking Wolverine mask?
No.
No.
Nah. It's not that type. It's not that type of
This
movie.
movie's a wash.
It's not that type
It's
of
a
movie.
wash.
It's like it's taken from the graphic novel Old Man Logan, which is not even 616 canon, but it's like Wolverine is something happens where like all the X-Men are dead, and in the comic book Wolverine is actually responsible, and in the movie they switched it up. They made it so that Xavier was actually the one that was the reason for there not being any more X-Men.
Okay.
It's him much older, and it's not that type of movie where they got like, you know, tights and going fighting like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or whatever.
Damn. I mean, like, I would really, because I know it's Hugh Jackman.
Correct.
Yeah.
His last movie, excuse me, as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that they would at least. I'm dying over here. Cigar.
Sounds like Logan.
No, but isn't he in talks? Isn't Ryan Reynolds trying to get him to come back to play one more time as,
I
as a
think
Wolverine
he just
character?
wants him to like
done.
make a cameo at least in Deadpool, but he doesn't necessarily want him to be Wolverine. He wants him to, like, he could even just be Hugh Jackman.
CGI.
As himself. Oh, okay.
He just wants him to show. I mean, he asked him to do
Right,
the first one, and he said he wouldn't. So that's why there was just a bunch of Hugh Jackman pictures all over the place, like Man of the Year and all that kind of shit.
Oh, he even had him in the mask when he unveils his like secret identity to his girlfriend the second time.
It's stapled to his fucking forehead.
His chin.
I mean, they gave the homage to the mask in Days of Future Past, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they like.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, it was a deleted scene. I forgot. But they open it up and there's like a cool looking mask in there, and he's like, "I'm not wearing this shit." He threw it away essentially.
So no mask, no suit up.
Mm-mm.
Ryan,
Okay.
you want to hit him up?
I think my biggest thing was, I guess he's not regenerating anymore. Is that correct? Is that why he's kind of like going downhill? And it shows.
Prostate acting up.
It's slowed down substantially, and not like complete. Like, you know how before in the movies he'd cut himself, and
Yeah.
like, it would just completely heal 100%.
Like right
Now,
away.
like, yeah, it takes like a couple days, and it leaves a scar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not really explained. There isn't like, whoa, you got injected by that thing, and now like your healing factor is slowed down. It's like you're just like hella old, and like you know.
Well, that's the thing I don't get though, because like in the first Wolverine, it shows like Shane pointed out earlier, you know, that timeline where he was like fighting in all the wars, and that him and his brother Sabretooth were going through all that, and it seemed like by the time he got to that point in the movie to where his regenerative powers had slowed down to that point, like Professor X and all them wouldn't even be around anymore, basically. That would be like, you know, half a century past all them dying at that point.
Well,
For it to take that
we
long
actually
to
know
get
what
to
year
that.
it is in the movie. Like it's actually like there's like self-driving cars in Logan that kind of make me realize that maybe self-driving cars is not necessarily a great idea.
Oh, well, no, the Google one crashed like a month ago. So.
Yeah, but like so we know that it's 2029 in the movie.
Okay.
There's like a movie like the whole Logan movie is like basically inspired by this old Western movie called, guess what it's called, Shane?
Is it Shane, the Western Shane movie? Shane Come Back?
Yeah, and so that Western, it takes place, or I don't know when it takes place, but no, it came out in 1953. And there's a scene where Xavier is sitting with Laura, and he like they're watching it, and he's like, "This movie came out 100 years ago."
Damn.
So you kind of like you get a sense of like, okay, we're in the future. You know, it's like it's not like 2017.
Yeah, it's not present day.
Mm-hmm.
What ends up being is that the way they wrote this in, this is not what happens in the comic, but he is being poisoned by the adamantium, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler. I mean, they're like talking about the whole freaking movie. They're being like really coy about it, but you kind of can like figure it out pretty easily.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. 200 years later?
Oh, you're sick, Logan. It's inside you. You know what's wrong. He's like, I know what's wrong, you old fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So, that's the animated series, Logan. I'm sorry.
That's Sean Connery. as Logan.
Yeah, so that's another thing I had a quick question about. What about all the other mutants? So there's no more because of like dead or just gone?
You know in the movie or the trailers where you
timeline?
see like all those weird tremors and shit going
Yeah.
on? So
Dude,
evidently,
like full cerebro there?
Carlos looks like I'm doing something very bad right now.
No.
He's like,
Okay. He's like, I
He's
didn't want
like,
to tell him
"Ooh,
this stuff.
stop it."
No,
So,
go for it. It's like you're talking like
if anybody's listening,
it's like the what's it called? Like they call it in the movie like the Westchester incident or something like that.
yeah, and it's
It's
like,
not explained. It's
Xavier. It is
Okay.
though, kind of
It
loosely.
is
loosely.
okay.
It's like what happens is Professor Xavier has one of the most powerful minds in the goddamn world.
Wow.
And now he's essentially going through dementia. So his brain is losing control of his powers. So every once in a while, unless he takes medicine or something like that, he just starts fucking just like everyone. It basically freezes everyone. They all can't breathe. They all can't move. Basically, their whole body is just shut down, which starts an amazing, like one of my favorite action scenes in a very long time. And pretty much the only people who can move are people who are like super powered essentially, and they can barely do it. Like fucking the little sniffer dude, what's his name again? He was in X-Men Future Past, but they gave him a different guy. Stephen Merchant. He was moaning about it because they had an incident early on in the movie. He's like, I almost fucking died. You have to get him a bigger dose next time. Professor Xavier's like, oh, Logan, don't give me the pills. You know?
Oh my god. Okay.
So yeah, it's basically he's like a person going through dementia, but his brain still has the same power he's always had. So that's a really cool premise. I love that.
Does his powers grow?
So his mind, he's always been an Omega level mutant that's capable of doing this whenever. He just had he had control over it. He knew to like not kill everybody immediately with his mind, if he needed to. So, but since his mind is kind of slowly deteriorating, he's losing control over like that, stopping his powers. So then every now and then, when his medicine runs out, he starts to basically put everybody around him in like a stroke, basically it's a debilitating aneurysm that's happening to everybody within like a 30-mile radius. It's like he could do like hundreds of people at once, and it's terrifying, and that's not even, we don't even know if that's what happened to all the mutants, but Xavier is definitely responsible, and they don't go into it, and I kind of appreciate the fact that they didn't really get into it.
Yeah, they kind of left it up for interpretation.
Yeah, it's just like that thing that you did, and it's like, that's fine. We don't need to know all that. And like even the stuff that's like, why is the adamantium like poisoning him or whatever? It's just like,
yeah,
sure, like it's like
so many unanswered questions.
But like when you like, if you try to like go into the movie thinking about it in that way, like, well, this doesn't make sense if you put it in the contents of the other X-Men films. It's like the movie is so much better than every other X-Men movie that's ever came out that it's like you don't even like just accept this Logan premise and this like plot and everything, because like it's so enjoyable. It's so much better than like every other X-Men movie.
Yeah.
So my final question: did he do a berserker barrage on anybody?
Yeah, well, he does. Like, there is this scene where like he takes like a bunch of PEDs,
steroids.
They're like special like Wolverine steroids. So and he does go.
No, they're mutant steroids.
Yeah.
General, they're kind of general purpose.
Yeah, and they're like, you should only take like one drop. Like this is like, there's a little bit goes a long way, and then like of course he like yeah. Yeah,
like fucking Hugh Jackman running in that whole like little movie they show. That is that part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like he runs at people like Walter from Get Out.
So what I pretty much get from it is that it's a damn good movie. You should really go out and watch it.
If you haven't already, like
really,
it's been out for like 3-4 weeks already, and it's made like
right.
billions of dollars,
Millions of dollars.
already. So
trillions even. Is it Oscar worthy, you think?
I mean, I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, yo, they gotta give Patrick Stewart the chip for this.
Oh, okay.
They gotta give him the chip for this one. At least a supporting actor, man.
Okay.
I liked the acting a lot.
I definitely gotta see it.
It was a good movie.
Even like the girl, like the girl that plays X-23 was like fucking amazing.
And she like had like no speaking roles.
I was like, that's what I was thinking. Like when I was thinking in the movie, like this, my thought process was the movie. I was just like, it's amazing how good this little girl's acting. Like it's just hard for me to. It was hard for me to like understand that like child actors could be this good. And I was like, what? Like, because they didn't have like, if you're like Patrick Stewart, you've had like 50 years of like Shakespearean like stage training to be a good actor. So I understand that. It's like you've crafted this skill to this point. But then like this girl is a clearly like 10-year-old girl, and like how is it that she understands facial expressions and like subtlety and like nuances of her part in a way that is like on a genius level, I would say, even, and I was really kind of surprised.
No, sorry, I was thinking about the movie, man.
Damn, you haven't like
some internal.
No, bro, the feels hit me, dude. I was saying like that little girl, dude, her acting, like yeah, the just her subtle expression, just the way she acted, like just like that scene when she went into the gas station. It was like it's like, oh, hey, these sunglasses, I want these now. Just kind of like her not understanding how the social world actually works, and just kind of like, these are mine. I want to eat this. Kind of how like 11 was in Stranger Things.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit like that.
Okay.
But she had less speaking lines than 11 did.
Yeah. No, her whole part was like just showing, not saying.
Yeah. 100%. Great shit. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
All right.
Man, I was looking forward to it, but now I'm definitely looking forward to it now.
How many mics on the
5 mics, man. It's 5 mics.
5 mics.
5 mics in the Source magazine.
I give it like,
it's official,
6.5 Blue Yeti mics. And
what?
Like 5 Google Pixel XLs. It's on top of that.
How many Meow Meow beans?
Ooh, that's a real rating.
There you
go. Yep. Okay, so
go see it.
Good movie.
Go see it.
Go see it if you can. Thank you guys so much for spoiling this movie for us.
I'm never gonna go watch it.
You knew what you were getting into.
Nah, for sure. And like, it clears up a lot of things, but I really do believe that even though hearing all this stuff is one of those things that you still have to see it to believe it and take part of
Bring
it.
some tissues. Bring a tissue box.
Yeah,
oh man.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it more now after talking with you guys about it than before.
Yeah, honestly, the spoilers that you heard today do not ruin the movie. You can listen to the spoilers and be like, this, you can still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Way better. So you're saying it's way better than the Wolverine original Wolverine screener that we saw.
When we saw in JT's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, JT's mom.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys don't know about that.
That's inside.
Oh my god.
That's mad art school rejects, like deep file shit.
Even kids who knew about JT's mom did not know about JT.
Yep.
They didn't know who JT was.
No, they just knew about JT's mom.
I remember the first time I introduced some people to JT, like, this is a kid's mom that you guys always talk about? Yes, this is the infamous JT. They're like, oh.
Or just the fact that people found out he was real.
So all right, just to kind of explain this a little bit. We all went to we all went to art school together, and on the school server there was a folder called JT's Mom where everybody put illegal movies, pirated movies, including way back when Wolverine first came out. There was a pre-Viz version of the movie that got leaked, and everybody watched that instead of going to watch the Wolverine. it made like $10 million the opening weekend. It's like, no shit, we already saw it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Without the CGI.
Yeah,
but
it was probably
good.
better that way.
That was the best green plane I ever saw.
So we clearly know the movie came. We seen it come up. We've seen Wolverine come up to this point. So good on you, Hugh Jackman. Good on you, Fox.
Huge Jack.
Good on you, Marvel, for finally giving Wolverine
His due, man. That movie.
his actual moment in the sunshine to actually shine as the character that we've all known and loved him to be.
Good on you for raising the bar
this.
on like a good comic book movie, because it was you know, after the last few comic book movies, I was kind of tired of comic book movies, to be honest.
I'm happy that you're saying this, because I said this last time.
Yeah,
guy,
and you know me, right? And you know,
you're the comic book god of
I mean that's my thing, you know. That's like, I'm into comics, so and for me to kind of be like, oh man, these are kind of getting stale. That's a lot, and that's how I was feeling. Yeah. But then this came out, I'm just like, yo, everybody, you might as well just like go whatever you were working on, start over.
Damn.
Yeah. Next level.
I like that.
But we don't want to overhype it or anything though.
Nah,
I think it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
No. I'm just saying, like, I've been looking forward to it. I talked to my brother about it. He said it was kind of slow paced, but it was really good as far as that. And I told him, I was like, well, it wasn't focused on that like full action.
Story driven.
It was more story driven. So I told him, like,
that makes it a good movie,
so,
and that's why I like good.
Like
movies.
I said, I've been looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I've been so busy lately. I moved, my girlfriend Ellie in with me, moving around. My brother moved to Wisconsin. A whole bunch of shit's been going on. Yeah, and then on top of that, I work overnight from 11 till 8 in the morning, which sucks dick. Just
Damn.
bad. Yeah, it's terrible. And then, like I said, I haven't had time to watch it. Now talking with you guys, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, it's sick.
If I don't like it, I'm hunting Carlos and Jake down. Jake, I can actually reach. Carlos is on the West Coast.
I will fucking destroy you.
Man.
Bring it on, baby blue.
Oh, you guys talking sexy.
He looked into his eyes.
So Ryan, I want to say thank you for joining us on this fantastic voyage that we have made of the 24th episode of Art School Rejects. And thank you for sure for taking out the time that you barely have and giving us more than enough of it. I want to say thank you, Jake, for being a regular Art School Reject and just being awesome. And obviously Carlos, thank you so much for being like super dope and always super cool.
Yep, that's me.
And I won't thank myself. But
thank you, Shane, also for doing whatever you do.
Doing the things
doing
you
what
do.
I do.
Whatever it is, I don't even fucking know, man.
Hey, so at this time, let's do some shout outs real quick. So you can hit us up at, we have the artschoolrejects.com. Sorry, it's actually artschoolrejects.com. You can find the latest episodes and little funny Tumblr posts that we gathered about the episode.
Don't forget to hit us up on there.
Yep,
Please.
hit us up on that. Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Art School Rejects. We also have an Instagram as well. And most importantly, find us on iTunes. Give us a follow. Leave us a comment. And as well, we are on SoundCloud and Stitcher as well. Is that all, Carlos, or do we have more?
I think that's it. You covered it.
You guys should make a Patreon.
Maybe we should.
You don't even know what that is, Shane.
I know.
He's like, yeah, let's do it.
I can do that. What the hell?
No, I know what Patreon is, my guy. Like, I watched that one, what's it called? It's really, really cool animations about like really interesting things that happen in the universe. It has like a name. It begins with K. It's like
Ketamine.
You know what it is? No, it's not ketamine.
Cool story.
Anyway, it's really interesting. It's like Cursor or some fucked up name. I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
You sound like a drunk person.
Anyway, maybe I am. Anyway, guys, it's been real talking with you guys. So thank you guys for being on the show. All right.
Peace.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Get home safe.
Me and my friends really come fit on up the party. Watch how me a wine and